few months back, I was fortunate to attend the Code Magazine State of AI Roadshow at the Microsoft campus in Dallas. During the event, I witnessed an impressive application of generative AI that sparked an idea. The folks at Code Magazine demonstrated how they use generative AI to streamline their web article publishing. Their app took a written article, summarized its content, and generated images based on the text. As someone who writes for various blogs, I was inspired to create a similar AI application. Since this was my first attempt at building a generative AI app, I decided to see if ChatGPT could write it for me. My first attempt was a complete failure. I crafted a complex prompt. Using Angular as a front end, C# as middleware, and MongoDB as a database, create an app that validates content, summarizes it, and generates images using OpenAI and DALL-E. Well, the response was a mishmash of code snippets and instructions, but it wasn't cohesive. I realized I had committed the first sin of prompt engineering, giving too much vague information. Now, for my second attempt, I simplified the prompt. Generate the full code for an app that takes a title and blog content, validates the content, and uses Angular for the front end, with a C# API for the back end. This time, I got closer to a functioning code, but there were still issues. I had committed the second sin of prompt engineering, continuing in the same thread, causing GPT to pull in unnecessary elements from the previous prompt. I started a new thread with the same simplified prompt, and we were off to the races. I received fully generated Angular and C# code. Although it didn't compile right away, it was a solid start. Instead of fixing the code myself, I decided to see if GPT could correct its own mistakes. I fed each chunk of erroneous code back into GPT, explained the error, and it provided fixes along with explanations. After about 4 hours, I had a working application that could check for offensive language in text and suggest rewrites. It even included solid error handling and logging, which you typically overlook in a proof of concept. 2 more hours later, the app could summarize content, list the main points, and generate prompts for image creation. But when it came to generating images with DALL-E, GPT fell short. It missed key configurations for the API call. I had to resort to Google to find a solution. In the end, I had a fully functional application that could validate content, summarize it, and generate images. What did I learn? Well, GPT isn't taking my job anytime soon, but it did cut my development time in half. However, I wouldn't use it to write an entire app again. Instead, I leverage it for tasks I'm unfamiliar with, like API calls and handling responses. So, did I put myself out of a job? Not quite. But with the right approach, generative AI can certainly make the job easier.